watching the Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and I am speaking with PJ Marcel.
Yes, you are. Hi.
Hi.
Very happy to be here tonight.
I'm happy to have you. And you are the president of the Punishers?
That's correct, the New York City chapter.
Yes. And we are speaking because you have a very important event coming up on September 12th.
That is correct, yes.
And that is?
The 9/11 Memorial Parade, Run for Ritchie motorcycle ride.
And you basically take over the city.
Well, depending on who's watching, but yes, we actually do close Lower Manhattan for about 3.5 hours.
And now I'm going to go back a little bit. This Run for Ritchie.
Correct.
What is the origin of it for people who don't know?
Well, I'm a volunteer at Forest Hills Volunteer Ambulance Corps. I have 21 years combined emergency service by different varying agencies. When I joined Forest Hills Ambulance Corps, I actually noticed that they honored a tradition of memorializing a gentleman by the name of Richard Allen Perlman, who was 18 years old on 9/11. And he ran down straight into danger to help people from the attacks on our nation. He was a resident of Howard Beach, where I live, and it hit so close to home. I felt that I wanted to exemplify the story of the youngest 9/11 first responder in the history of New York with what I'm able to do with the platform in motorcycle culture.
And so you have been doing this for how many years?
We started the Run for Ritchie brainstormed it in 2015, and the first year was the 15th anniversary, which was 9/11 2016.
Wow. And now, how many bikes did you have?
We have a very large crowd that attends throughout the years. We started in a parking lot at the Resorts World Casino that could possibly manage 12 to 1,500 motorcycles. And historically, we've had thousands show up in the years supporting and remembering the heroes that have been taken from us, and family members, and friends, loved ones, just to honor and memorialize all of them that were taken on this planet on that tragic day.
So, how much effort does it take to make this happen?
So, being the face of the ride and the face of the event, it takes a lot out of me personally. But without the crew, without the organization's help, without the board members and the advisors of the 9/11 Memorial Ride Committee, it would not be a simple feat. We have 35 people immediately involved on the board to execute this event, to make sure that it's ran flawless and it's at its full capacity the day of the event.
When did you start planning for this year's event?
That's a good question. The obstacles that came in front of us this year.
That's right, this year was unique.
Because of COVID and state and city mandations, being that we're in New York City and we run this event to welcome everyone throughout the nation to come and participate. The hurdles were had because we have people that come from other states, as far as Canada, that ride down, as far as Texas and California that come over to ride this event, because closing New York City is a very hard feat. We actually, 2020 last year, were able to get permission last minute to organize a religious memorial service in front of the U.S. Post Office in downtown Manhattan. And we had thousands of people with the city and state mandates still show up and support our event. But we did it with all in the proper guidelines. No renegade tough guy acts, no discussions of violence, trying to get the events off the proper way within the jurisdictional patterns that are implemented from the city and state. This year, which the event was started and planned the day after 9/11/2020, we started and held both dates, 9/11 and 9/12, because we didn't know which day we were going to be able to have the event on.
Okay.
It takes about a year to organize this event in its entirety, to have everyone lined up, institutionalize and utilize every city and state agency to not only give out the information of road closures, but to have the proper uniformed service members placed along the route, having multiple emergency service agencies help respond, contribute, and participate, organizing the ridership within the community, advertising, insurance, permits, coverage, media and press releases, as well as the interior organization of the ride itself on the day of the event.
So just a little bit of effort.
You could say
I
that.
mean, it's monumental.
We make it look easy. I try to make it look easy. It's not. It consumes a very large portion of my life. I have a void that 9/11 removed from my body that day. And as much as I try to fill that void, I'll still be empty. I pray for those that are in military service that in the political climate that we live in right now are facing 20 years later the obstacles and demons personally inside of them, of what they came home from a job and mission task to understand that their friends and colleagues didn't die in vain. To have to be able to be the person to stand up on stage and recite a poem and be able to deliver a speech every year, not only at this event, but my past events, and be able to memorialize these people that were taken from us. It's a great honor and it's a burden at the same time.
Of course. And you know what? I want to talk a little bit about your background, but I want to first take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
All gathered here today in honor of 9/11. This ride that we put together is an honor for all those that are lost from today, tomorrow, and forever. And everyone here knows we shall never forget. And we'll never forgive. You got that right, brother. My guys, each and every one of them in our club, chapter local or an extended, took the time out to help organize, gather information, and put this event together.
And we're back. And you gave us some background about the run that we're talking about specifically, but I wanted to ask you, when did you decide to volunteer your service before you started this whole thing? What made you do what you do?
I volunteered with the New York City Police Department as an auxiliary police officer in the year 2000. I graduated and received my shield on September 11th, 2000. I still have my receipt. So my voluntary service to the city of New York started with the New York City Police Department because I wanted to become a police officer. And I also wanted to become a fireman. And I also wanted to be a public advocate. So there was a lot of different roads and paths and journeys in which I wanted to try, but I didn't know which one was for me. So I dedicated my life to volunteerism, going on my 21st year. So I'm living less than I volunteered. I volunteered for more than I'm alive. And that was where it started.
And now, okay, so I saw some clips of you speaking to, I don't know, certain people like, what, Anderson Cooper? Was it Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, I was on Anderson Live.
Because you've done a lot of stuff.
Everybody has a moral compass and certain road that they're going to walk. I've happened to always be at the right place at the right time. I was on Anderson Cooper for the rescue efforts with my contributions during Hurricane Sandy in my community, where I saved 120 people with a friend of mine in a decommissioned military truck, and I was publicized nationally for my heroic deeds in the community.
So, this is something that's just really a part of you. All of it is from inside.
Yes.
And, I mean, you don't get paid for any of this.
Nope.
I mean, so
What do I do to make a living? How about that one?
thank you, because I'm
I can
I'm
see
still
you
my,
just trying to figure
yeah,
out, trying to
and
bit
it
me
doesn't
out.
happen often. You can ask the boys in the room.
So,
it doesn't happen often.
A lot of people say, I get this all the time. That's why I threw it at you. Is what do I do to make a living? So I have had various jobs in public service. I have also held positions in private administrations and private businesses. I worked 15 years in the restaurant field and different businesses that my family and friends owned. I also managed an auto repair facility, which I still currently do, in Queens. I also own nothing. I work for everybody. I also do professional snow removal. When it doesn't snow, that affects me, but when it snows, I do pretty well with my family's business. We have a fleet of about 25 pieces of motorized equipment to clear the tri-state area. I have about 150 stops that I manage, property maintenance, besides seeing repair provisions for these facilities for property maintenance. So when my time was more free, as my family developed, I gave more time in the volunteer sector. When I started as an auxiliary police officer, I was a youth and I was learning the world. When the 9/11 ride came to play, with its whole story and dynamic of how it was birthed, that was my gift to leaving the Forest Hills Volunteer Ambulance Corps as a fundraiser. My legacy would have been the 9/11 ride, and I would have been able to walk away. I'm starting my family, children. My youngest right now is 4, my oldest is 6 years old, and I wanted to give them my energy. So instead of putting my 3-4 nights a week into riding the ambulance with my longest stint of volunteering, I wanted to just do this ride. And boy, did I not know that this event was more than going out 3 or 4 nights a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay. All right. You know what? You come from a family of long history of motorcyclists as well in
That's
your family.
correct.
So
Yes.
that's part of all of this.
Yep. As you get older, you start to figure out where the cards are going to fall. All the cards fell in my place using my family's legacy behind me with motorcycling, mechanics, having ingenuity, being able to erect and engineer certain situations, dynamics of incidents, and be able to come out positive, very good and very business savvy. I've always been able to connect with people, offer and distribute information, as well as be a resource in times of need at such a young age. I'm only 41 years old.
I know.
And I feel that being resourceful was one of the main characteristics that made me the person I was.
That's a good person.
I don't know. I don't know. Some people like to say that.
All right, on paper.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to take one more break,
Sure.
and we'll be right back.
Go right ahead.
Hey, I'm Tattoo Tony, and you're watching the Kate Fox Show.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm Kate Fox, and I am here at the new and expanded home of Tresses and Colors at 1227 Montauk Highway in Oakdale. And they are just preparing to celebrate 25 years in business, and have recently won Best of Long Island. They are house to Sunny and Dew as well, which is all natural skincare and hair products. And boy, you can find anything you want here. So don't forget to shop local discounts and mention the Kate Fox Show for 25% off any hair service. And we're back. And now, so we have we have a little bit of history of you. We talked about the ride, but I want you to give us any other details I might have neglected, or impart anything that actually you want to share with the people that are watching.
Well, I like to tell the story about how the ride came together. It's a really great story. It's a really good foundation. There were so many people in the room when that happened that we could always circle around and come back to the same conversation. I kept having this dream for weeks. I kept having this dream for months. I kept seeing this young man down at the Trade Center. I'm gonna let you. I want you to just look at my.
Don't do it to me. Please don't do it to me. I get the goosebumps all the time.
I want you just to look at the no goosebumps on my arm to tell you how factual this is. And I keep having this dream, and I keep seeing the Trade Center. I keep running downtown. I keep running downtown. Keep running into Ritchie, but I only see him from behind. And I get close to him, and I get close to him. I'm feet away from him, and I wake up. Always happened. And then one night, I woke up out of a cold sweat. I'm running downtown, running full speed, and I get footsteps to him, and I go to grab him, and he turns around, and he looks at me dead in my eyes. He goes, PJ, we gotta go back. He says, PJ, we gotta go back. I woke up.
Covered.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Are you getting any more truth than this?
Covered.
And I woke up. I jumped out of bed. I ran downstairs to my agency vehicle. Lights on the sirens. Full speed to my organization. I bursted in the door. Guys, I got it! This is midnight. This is 2 in the morning. It was a full crew on a Friday night. I bursted in the door. Guys, I got it! I got it! What we're gonna do? We're gonna have a parade. We're gonna have this fucking motorcycle ride. And everybody's looking at me. They're like, everybody stopped what they're doing and they're staring at me like, we're gonna do this. We're going to memorialize all the lost. We're going to bring all the emergency vehicles together and motorcycles. We're going to have hundreds of motorcycles, and we're going to close Manhattan. We're going to go downtown, and we're going to go past the Trade Center. We're going to come out Tunnel Street. We're going to honor the lost. We're going to do a ceremony. We're going to do flyovers. Everything that I said. And the president at the time, Alan Wolf, great friend, great guy, looks at me, and everybody's staring at me, and he looks at me and goes, "You're fucking crazy." It just might happen. And the room was so silent. You could cut the air with a knife. You could cut it like butter. You could see it. And being in an organization such as volunteering, which I've always been an advocate for volunteering time where it's appreciated. And when you're around people that are in certain positions in your life, they're doing well. Anybody doing well that sees people that are good want to do well with them and bring them up. I come from a prestigious organization that has people from all walks of life. Government employees, city employees, state employees, private employees, business owners, workers, people that have values, people that know how to converse with you, people know how to get things done. So that room was like the Pentagon. We were able to channel everyone's energy to make the ride happen on 9/11, on the 15th anniversary. And it was so strategically planned that the following continued years after. And that's why I'm in the position I am now, where I am representing those that no longer have a voice. I'm representing those that are no longer here. And I have to take that home every night when I close my eyes. And when it comes around this time of year and I have to gather with everyone and I have to put my uniform on and straighten my tie and shine my shoes, because I'm still here. And I live with regret. I live with negative thoughts. Everyone does. How do I get to be up here on stage and thank all those lost? I wasn't down there working that day on 9/11, but I did respond. How come God didn't choose me?
Because you're here to do this.
One of his warriors.
You're here to do this.
So that's that.
And that's why, this is your purpose.
Yes, that's what I feel. This will be my legacy.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm only 41 and there's plenty of time in front of me to see what the road's going to develop and open up for me in the future to do.
That's true too. That's true too. Now let me ask you. So, first of all, wait a minute, because I was going to ask for all of your information, but you have this beautiful thing sitting right here. What
This
is
thing
that?
right here?
Yeah, that thing. That thing.
Well, this is this year's presidential 9/11 Memorial Ride coin. I had a vision when we opened up the ride to try to do things a little differently than everyone else. But I had to follow what everyone else was doing. We came up with the idea because military challenge coins were developing and becoming a real big hit within the professional service community. And I said to the guys, I said, why can't we give out a challenge coin? That would be really cool. I never seen that. I always see people giving out patches and stickers and cool items that were donated. Why don't we make a coin? And we give out this coin to all the attendees. And we all came together and we designed the first year coin with the Twin Towers on the one side, Forest Hills Ambulance Corps on the other side. And we were able to give it out. So many people loved the idea. And then there was a craze over them. We ran out of coins. We were getting in confrontations of, where's my coin? I want my coin. I came here for that coin. I want that coin. So now we have a trophy. That's why this year's design could stand up on a desk on a table, or you can carry it in your pocket. And each coin is numbered on the bottom. They will never be reproduced. They will never be duplicated. We started them in 2016, and we're ending them here in 2021.
Oh, really?
This looks like it might be the final ride.
For what reason?
This year, to overcome all of the obstacles and hurdles to get the event underway, I could live with stress. I can live and manage with it. But the unknown, when you dedicate so much of your soul and your body and your mind, my daughters are losing time with me. They'll never be 4 and 5 and 6 again. My family, summer outing events, my weekends are consumed to go on motorcycle rides. The tension between my wife and myself, with involving so much of my time in the motorcycle community, takes a strain on my marriage. My business, which is supposed to start at the end of August to get my contracts, I have to wait until after September because of the ceremony. So my focus is a little distorted because of it. 20 years is going to hit a lot of homes hard when they realize it the day of on 9/11. Mm-hmm. Will the event continue? It can. It can. I'm not saying that it's not. But the people that are in professional service, that are the people that sign off on documents, this year 17 people retired in professional service that we had to look at in administrative positions to sign documents. And the people behind them weren't down at the Trade Center. So as the vision comes and evolution turns its page, we're slowly going to be replaced, but people are not going to remember. And that's that.
That's that. And even though we say we will never forget.
Unfortunately, we all made a promise that day, which is the landmark statement I've said for years. And to keep your promise was another one after it. But on this one, in this journey on two wheels, if the ride does not continue and it doesn't go and blossom into the future, like I put on my t-shirts, the ride never ends.
The ride never ends.
And the ride will never end. Just because we're not riding in a group in unison doesn't mean that we can't continue to remember and memorialize those that have passed.
Agreed. Now, if people want to find out about the ride, if they want to find out about you, about your purpose, where can they look?
There's really not much about myself out there.
I know.
You can't find I don't have a website, pjmarcel.com. But if you'd like to find that information about the ride and see see the videos and see all the publications and the news article, because this event gets massive national coverage. I have a lot of media news outlets that come the day of, the day before, the week of, put me on their show and discuss. You can visit our Facebook pages, which is a great platform, at the New York City Punishers Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club. We could also find us under the 9/11 Memorial Ride, which are both on Instagram and Facebook. There's a difference between us and the other events. But when you see our Guardian logo, which is this skull depicted on my cut, that is when you know you're in the right direction.
Okay.
And the Run for Ritchie could also be Googled as well.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking.
It was a pleasure to be here, and I thank you for taking your time out to hear my story and my side of the tracks.
Thank you.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you very much.